It's your good pal Steve-O from the 4i Radio Network. I'm here to talk to you about a wonderful designer we all know, Revenge Lover. Illustrates and designs that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, please visit revengelover.com. And just do yourself a favor and tell him Steve-O sent you. I know it really doesn't count for anything, but I mean, come on. Who are you gonna trust? You gonna trust somebody else? No, you're gonna trust me, Steve-O. Because, face it, I'm awesome.
Hey, buddy! Welcome to another action-packed episode of the Warpod, brought to you in part by Musings of a Geek, the 4i Radio Network, and the Houston Nerdcasting Collective. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or get the full experience at warlocksentertainment.com. Dance, monkey! God. Sadder. Sadder.
I want to dance.
Warlocks.
All right. Tonight on the Warpod, we are going to be taking off these. Then, we are going to be talking about the loading screen madness that's been going on lately. Apparently, loading screens are in the news now.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Dawn of Justice trailer. We got to talk about it. We got to look at it. We got to
touch it.
I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad you went there. And also, we're going to give our top 3/bottom 3 loading screens of all time. Johnny, what would you like to talk about first? Just to change it up a little bit.
I think that myself, would like to talk about, as well as the rest of America and the world, would like to talk about the Batman vs. Superman trailer.
Batman vs. Superman. You want to blow our whole wad for the episode immediately. That's fine.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Okay. The Batman Superman. First, can we just call it this movie by its name? It's called Dawn of Justice. For anybody who has been basically listening to idiots like us talk about it, because all we say is Batman v Superman, which isn't even the name of the source material it's based on.
True.
Yeah.
But it grabs your attention because it's Batman versus Superman. And you're like, Batman? I know that guy. Superman? I know that guy. They're going to fight.
No.
Sounds like fun.
No, they're not.
I know.
No, they're Johnny, why don't you just go ahead and tell me how you felt about this new trailer?
Less than pleased.
Really?
Yes.
That's a breath of fresh air. Like, this movie seemed tailor-made for you.
Yeah.
Up until we saw the latest scene from Jesse Eisenberg.
Right.
Yes, that was...
There was... Okay, let me be clear. I didn't hate the entire thing as a whole. But my initial reaction when I first watched it, my first reaction was, my heart sunk, and I said, fuck. That was it. I was like, that's not what I wanted to see. Okay,
so what specifically for... Okay, I don't know which part you're talking
about.
There may even be people who haven't seen it.
Right, and that was just my initial reaction of the whole thing. There were good and bad parts of the trailer. So, first thing I did not like was the Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. When you see him as Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are meeting each other and for the first time, and Lex Luthor's like negotiating this interaction, and it was just
he's facilitating.
He's facilitating
it.
He
wants it to happen.
Right, but he's too much of a clown. I don't like it.
Yes, that's exactly it. And
yeah.
Like I was defending Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
He has the chops. He could do it.
It's not only the chops. He does other unless they cut it out of the film or went with a different take. He did a scene in this movie that we've all seen part of that he did very well. And here he's like a cartoon mouse.
Right.
It's like, hey, that's Superman. This is Batman. Hey, Batman. This is Superman. You two should kiss or something.
Right.
And like it's very much. And the thing is like that stuff. That stuff doesn't bother me.
Right.
The whole da-da-da, which is what I call my subgenre of cartoons and comics that I really like, and that's the Golden Age.
Right.
Back when superheroes were paragons, everything was very clear cut,
right.
Very simple morality plays, very bright and colorful, and he's playing it kind of like that, but we're making a Christopher Nolan Superman movie.
Right. We were hoping.
Huh?
We were hoping it was one.
No,
At least I was.
It still is. But,
Kinda.
Okay, but Christopher Nolan puts that kind of weird stuff in his movies all the time.
Yeah.
And yes, I am saying Christopher Nolan on purpose. I've seen other Zack Snyder films. I've enjoyed them thoroughly. And ever since he and Chris Evans...
What are you talking about?
Ever since
you say the wrong name so many times, I don't know if you're saying the right names or not.
Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan came together, and they made a baby, and that baby laid an egg called Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And it's just so clear that Christopher Nolan all over it that he may as well be the director.
Right.
Now, that may be completely untrue. Open letter to Zack Snyder, if you'd like to be on the show.
Yeah, come on this show and set the record straight.
But it just... it didn't feel... Nothing about it felt right when Lex Luthor comes out. He's like 16. I know he's... And that shouldn't make a big deal for me, because I don't care when like they mess up the little details like age, gender, etc. about characters. No, that doesn't bother me. But he's just so much smaller.
Very much.
And he's the biggest personality in the room.
Right.
And...
the smallest stature.
Yeah, which, it's comical in its own way, but therein lies the rub. It's comical.
Lex Luthor is not supposed to be that way.
Well, okay, Lex Luthor, he is the Superman villain with, like, the robot suits.
Right. And
the lasers that he fires at Superman, and Superman will punch the laser until it goes backward.
Yes.
He is that villain, but not only was his stature and the way he was speaking comical, which completely threw off the tone of what they were trying to do, which was the whole, oh look, here's the guy who you took off his mask earlier and you know exactly who he is. Oh, and here's the guy who doesn't disguise himself even a little.
Yeah.
In fact, he's not wearing glasses in this scene.
Right.
Wait, is he? He might be.
Now I don't even know. It's the same face.
Here's the other thing. Lex is smart enough to figure out who Superman is, like, immediately.
Right.
No problem at all. And so is Batman. But the thing is like, there's this thinly veiled, I don't know who you people are kind of thing going on with it. And he's just like, hey, nameless reporter, meet the richest man in the world, for no reason. Superman or Clark just got his job.
Right.
He's not an important dude.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why he's at this gala event unless he's covering it.
He probably is.
In which case he's underdressed.
Yes.
Adding another layer of what the hell to this whole scene. And that's like 2 seconds of this.
I know. I'm surprised we spent this much time on that scene. There's a lot more. There are other bad things about this trailer. I wonder how much time we're going to spend on these.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I didn't have much of a problem with the trailer up until there's 2 more things that really irked me.
Okay.
And one of them was it reinforced an idea I already had long before we saw any footage of this movie. And that is they're putting too many fucking heroes in this movie.
Okay, I only remember seeing a new villain. And we'll get to that in a second.
Wonder Woman?
She's not new in the context of what we've seen so far.
Right.
We know Wonder Woman's going to be there. We know Aquaman's going to be there.
That's what I'm saying. But the trailer, even the way they presented her in the trailer, it felt like the movie would be crowded. It was just the presentation of it. I thought she was with you. I thought she was with you. Oh shucks, we got a new person that showed up out of nowhere. Yeah. What are we gonna do now? I don't know. But she's going to kick some ass.
I didn't really think about that. The characters are even surprised
yes.
the number of people in this movie.
I hated that so much. I have nothing against Wonder Woman. I just don't like that her and Aquaman are both in this movie. It feels crowded. I don't like it. We didn't even see Aquaman yet.
Okay.
And you know what? You know what blows my mind about this?
That you're not in the frame?
I'm getting back in the frame. I'm in the frame. Is we just talked about Captain America Civil War. And we talked about how we were so anticipating and wanting the more heroes that we know are going to be in this movie. Mm-hmm. In Civil War. We're wait, where are the rest of them? Where are the rest of them? They showed 6 already. And in this one, we're like, Wonder Woman showed up. Oh, it's too many. And I don't think there's a double standard there. I just think it's interesting because the two different movies are very different. The title of this movie is Batman vs Superman.
No, it's not.
Dawn of Justice. That's the full title.
Is
Batman
it?
vs Superman. Dawn of Justice.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just called Dawn. Wow. So even the title's bad.
Yeah.
Even the title's crowded at least.
Yeah. So
Batman versus Superman, and also the rest of the Super Friends show up. Remember those guys in the 70s? They had the bell bottoms,
right?
And the Barbera cartoons. They're in there too.
Right.
That's the whole title.
And the reason I guess I bring this up is because I don't want to think that we are presenting a double standard, because I don't think we are, because Captain America: Civil War, for one, that is an established story that is super crowded. It's got, and not in a bad way, but there are shit tons of superheroes in that story arc. But also, we've had time with the Marvel MCU to build up this roster. This is really, what would you? Because the Nolan Batman doesn't count.
Batman counts.
It doesn't. It's a different Batman.
No, it still counts.
Like the MCU starts with Iron Man.
Still counts.
And Robert Downey Jr. is still in this.
Still counts. It does.
Okay, fine.
Because this is kind of a pretentious thing to say, but the visual language insists that this is part of the same story.
I see where you're coming from with that, but I think that all that was the people over at Warner Brothers saying,
Christopher Nolan
did something good.
No.
I know what you're saying. Christopher Nolan, yes. But he found something, and they're like, we have to capitalize on that. I don't think they're necessarily trying to make a continuity, continuitum, if you will.
At bare minimum,
right?
It is a spiritual successor.
Yes, that is true. But I think they're trying to establish the new era that started with the Henry Cavill Superman. And I think they're going from there, and they're saying that was the first one of this particular group of
I'm assuming
films.
Henry Cavill is the name of Man of Steel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
because I still even though it's a movie that I love, and I also love that everybody else hates it, I don't know the name of the Superman in Superman Returns.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that was before. Yeah.
I call him ex-boyfriend number 5.
Okay.
Because he was in another movie that I love, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh yeah. That's right. So anyway, back on track here. The difference between the two is that they're just starting out with this group of movies. They're creating their own MCU of sorts, the Justice League CU.
Well, okay, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to create it.
Yeah.
And they're trying to
catch
up.
Too fast.
Right.
They're doing it way too fast.
This is not the only way you can catch up on this game is by making the movies faster than they did. Which, hold on, no, wait, Lord of the Rings was Fox, wasn't it?
No, that was Wingnut.
Oh, come on, who did the studio? We know. That.
I know.
We know that a bunch of guys had a podcast in the 80s and then made movies later, but somebody with money helped them. And his name was Sony or Fox or Warner
I know!
Brothers.
I was going through the beginning sequence in my head of the movies.
Okay.
I'm remembering everything. It was not Universal. It was fucking the one with the...
Doesn't matter. I can make my point with a different movie. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter 7 and 8 were filmed simultaneously.
What's the name? No, hold on. I can't get over this.
Was it the?
No, it's not Paramount either. It's the one with
Unicorns?
No. It's the one with it looks like it has the film strip and then one of them's like crossed over.
New Line Cinema.
That's it. I think.
That's not a studio though.
Oh, then whatever. They're associated.
Okay. Where were we?
Someone's gonna yell at us. They're like, "Why the fuck don't you guys know this?" I know I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, the movies specifically, but I feel so bad about myself. I'm gonna go sit somewhere and cry.
You better.
I got beer.
Yeah, I noticed that you're drinking 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's
One of them's in this container,
and one of them is empty.
One of them is empty because it's in this container, and it's actually really cool glass.
I think why people keep tuning in is because we're just such good role models. I think is what it is.
I'm not wasted. If that means anything.
No, you're just drinking heavily. I'm not an alcoholic.
I'm not.
I'm just addicted to alcohol.
I'm a responsible thing.
So,
birthday beer.
Lots of people know about Shiner Birthday. You said that this has an interesting name. It doesn't have a label
It does not have a label because it was a low fill from when I worked at the brewery. But this is from Buffalo Bayou, and this is Lenin's Revenge.
Lenin's Revenge.
Yeah.
What about it makes it Marxist?
It's actually this comes from the specific style because it is a stout. It's an imperial stout.
Okay.
But the style is an imperial Russian stout. This was they got that name from, I've heard a couple different stories, but essentially the Russians like to drink it. From what I've heard, that's true. I think it was royalty, Russian royalty that really liked it and had it imported. I think the English brewed it though.
I can say this because I am one. We don't call potatoes Irish. Irish rocks. They named it just because they like to drink it.
That's the story. That's the story I've heard. And like I said, I think it was English. I could be wrong. I know there's nerdier beer people out there, but that's from what I've heard. It was not brewed by the Russians. They just enjoyed to drink it, so they had it imported. The royalty had it imported.
Is that the stuff they pour over the bread? There's like a Russian bread and a Russian alcoholic beverage.
Oh, I don't know.
And they pour it over the bread, and then they just gobble it up, and it's disgusting. But they live in Russia, so they don't care. I'm not saying anything about the Russian people. I'm just saying it's cold and gray.
Yes, it's weather.
Weather.
Yeah.
It'll make anybody depressed. Either way, I'm sorry to all our Russian fans, by the way.
No, yeah. Hey, and if you disagree with anything we've said, or
we're white too, so you can't do anything.
No, I said anything. No, I was going to say is you can contact us. There are plenty of ways to do so. At Warlocks Brew on Twitter, just throw shit at us, and we'll maybe answer.
None of the letters you just mentioned and the words you just said exist in the Russian alphabet, so good luck. Doomsday.
Fuck that guy. Oh my god, that's not Doomsday. It's not Doomsday.
Okay.
It's not Doomsday.
Hold on. It wasn't Bane either.
Okay, yeah, they changed the origin story. Big time, like they did with Bane. But
this Doomsday is closer to that Bane by a long shot.
You mean it's closer to the real Doomsday than that Bane was to the real Bane?
The movie Doomsday is closer to the Bane Doomsday. The movie Doomsday is closer to the comic book Doomsday than the movie Bane is to the comic book Bane.
Yes.
By a long shot. By a huge margin.
I think the only thing that's different in this particular case is that the amount of people who care. I think more people care about the Doomsday not getting it right. He's not an alien in any sense.
Doomsday's an alien.
No, yeah, in the comics he is.
Yes.
I'm saying in the movie he's not.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's Zod.
You're right.
You know he's Zod, right?
Yes. Okay, technically he is an alien. My bad.
Okay.
But he's more of a zombie than he is an alien.
Okay, so very popular fan theory. The person who introduced it to me was actually Jeremy.
Yep.
And he, I mean, it's just clear that they wanted to bring in a very iconic character, Lex Luthor, and they wanted him to be able to play with the big boys in this universe that they set up in Man of Steel, which is crazy. Like, a character like Lex Luthor cannot compete. So he's got to do one of his things where he's like, oh, I'll just make something that will compete. And you see Zod's body, and you see Luthor, and not short after, you see Doomsday.
Yes.
Yes.
He looks more like a Ninja Turtle.
He does. That's the first thing I said right here.
Have you seen the meme?
No.
People actually went out and they put an orange bandana on him.
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
And he looks very much like the new Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the new movie.
For those of you who don't know, in the comics, Bane was actually an experiment. It may have been
Doomsday or Bane?
Doomsday, I'm sorry. It may have been by some established faction in the DC universe, I'm not sure. But he was created on an alien planet by people who were trying to create the biggest, baddest biological weapon ever. And they created Doomsday. Oh, do you have the...
I have the Death of Superman.
Really?
Yep.
You're going to read it right now?
I'm not going to read it, but I was going to show you and America.
Oh, man. It's the 4.
Yeah, I have the armband, too.
Ah, dude. This is like comic book... Is this a reprint?
No, that's the original.
Oh, yeah, it says 92.
Yeah.
This is like comic book history right here. That's beautiful. Yeah, because people don't realize what. Well, I don't know. Some people may have, but maybe the youngins out there may not realize what a cultural impact the death of Superman really had.
Same armband that they're wearing in the poster.
Yeah. You see it on my boy Robin right there.
Yeah, all of them got it. You got the newspaper clipping, all that stuff. The reason I'm bringing this out is because after I showed Jessica, my wife, the trailer.
It's really cute.
Yeah. I was like, Doomsday, and I was like, and I started complaining about it. And she's like, Doomsday? Who's Doomsday? And I was like, well, let me show you who Doomsday is.
He's the guy who gave Superman a nice nap.
Yeah.
Because that's how that story ended.
That's exactly how the story ends. So this is actually, I have the death and him bringing back to life. It was a combo deal, and actually the first shot I'll show you first is actually them just wrestling.
They can barely see that.
Yeah, no, I was gonna show you first.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So that's the first frame or the first page, and at the end you have the fold out of when he got punched in the mouth, and now he's dead. So that's really cool. Anyway. Yeah, I bought it secondhand at a garage sale right when I moved to the Houston area.
It's really cool. So, yeah, Doomsday is the character that in the comics killed Superman. He was the only one strong enough. And it really set up a lot of the visuals for what we'd see later in Superman, him being so fast and so powerful that he would actually cause collateral damage and stuff like that. That kind of started with Doomsday. It's one of the most iconic things about the fight between them is that they were literally wrecking buildings that they were nowhere near.
Yeah, they were destroying the city.
Yeah, the shockwaves created from the punches were just blowing stuff up around them, which is what would happen. I mean, Superman technically punches fast enough to create a photonic discharge. He would probably compress the air around him into liquid by the shock, and then boil it.
Right.
On top of it, deafening everybody in the room. I guess why we bring it up is we got to ask ourselves this question: are they bringing in Doomsday to kill Superman? You think they're just bringing him in so that he'll have another good fight?
Yep. I think, and I don't even think he's going to do the finishing blow. I think it's going to be Wonder Woman.
No, that's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
No, because Wonder Woman's got enough cool stuff going on. There was a sneak peek. It was about 20 seconds long. No, I'm sorry. This is part of the new trailer. You actually see Wonder Woman do something besides get blown up, which was kind of her,
She had a buckler,
a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bigger than the buckler. It was a targe.
It's not as big as Captain America's shield, but it was pretty big.
Yeah. She takes a laser blast for Batman with the shield, and it's all and that actually looked pretty cool, except for Batman's reaction. They have a problem with characters like superheroes or heroes in general, like not being heroic in death.
Right.
There was one thing I noticed about it was actually the what is it?
Taco Hut Supreme.
Taco Hut Supreme. The Dark Knight Rises. I hate saying the words. Remember the guy that didn't want to get involved, and Gordon stopped by his house during the occupation, and he was like, "What? You bury your suit in the backyard?" Just taunting him about not manning up, or just being brave. Ladies can be brave too. We're gonna get into it, and he died in a really unsatisfying way. And when Gordon was exiled, he was skittering across the ice like he was afraid. Gordon should have marched out to the ice. He should have been stoic in that moment. And in this, you see Superman. It's not Superman. Batman. He's about to get the whammy from the laser vision from the apocalypse, the Doomsday,
the Doomapocalypse,
the Doomman.
Yep.
From Doomman, Larry Doomman.
Doomman 3.
And
the Doomman continues.
Rather than just unloading all of his missiles on the Batplane, which he's on, or something to that effect, something he knows isn't going to work, but he's going to try whatever. He just kind of does an Elvis impression. Did you notice that? He goes, "Oh!" "Ooh!" "Whoa!" You can look at it. He's doing
I believe you.
Yeah. And, I don't know. It didn't feel Batman-like. Like Batman is smart enough to know when he's going to die, you know? And he should have just accepted it rather than which is, I'm sorry, it's just what he did. And then Wonder Woman comes in. She has a really cool scene where she takes the shot for him. Her shield's all glowy, so you know that, you know, it was definitely a good hit. But her shield.
Well, here's the true controversy in waiting. Are there going to be any Wonder Woman toys?
No. I know. Okay, this is a theory that I had about the whole Scarlet Witch thing, and that was
Scarlet Witch or Black Widow.
Black Widow. Well, they didn't have Scarlet Witch stuff either. But I think that toy distributors feel two ways about it. That a female toy is too promiscuous an idea to sell to parents, and that a girl toy is too tough a sale for their core demographic.
Yeah, and to go with your first point there, they've officially stopped and are not going to release any more Slave Leia toys or memorabilia at all.
Who's not?
Disney to put a stop to it.
Wait, in any capacity?
Yep.
Not even like the $100 busts?
The images are all gone.
Pun intended.
They're not making any more licensed stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there will be plenty of unlicensed stuff.
Sure, Todd McFarlane's he's gonna do something.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Todd McFarlane himself cosplay as Slave Leia.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But no, okay, so you go to you know, Marvel, which, you know, is owned by Disney, so it's understandable that they would be a little more prudish about this whole thing. But I would argue that there's not much to be prudish about, especially with a character like Black Widow. Wonder Woman, on the other hand, compounds both issues.
Yes.
Because she is scantily clad.
Yes.
There's no two ways about it. She shows a lot of leg and all of her arms and all of her neck.
And she's supposed to be a warrior. She should have more armor on.
She's supposed to be nimble. And she's also an Amazonian.
She could have...
They were tribal warriors.
She could have at least a bra strap. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing over her shoulders. I don't know. I can't remember how she is in the trailer. But traditionally, Wonder Woman doesn't even have that to keep her armor up.
Magic keeps her armor up.
Right.
It was made by the god Hephaestus.
True.
Yeah, and that's why it has... Do you think... Here's the question lying in wait. Do you think that they are going to exploit Wonder Woman's big weakness?
What is her big weakness?
Hephaestus leaves a flaw in every suit of armor that he makes, so that no one is more powerful than he. Hers is that if you manage to bind her wrists together, she loses all of her strength.
That's right. I remember that now. I remember that I saw that in one of the cartoons. Oh, man. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I've seen her block things that way. Where she's like, ugh! But I guess they have to be bound.
It has to be bound against her will.
Okay.
Like somebody else tied her up.
Okay. I doubt they're...
And she can't undo the knot.
I doubt they'll explore it.
Okay. I didn't answer my own question, though.
Yes.
Is Doomsday here to kill Superman? Yes. He's here to kill Superman, but they're going to do exactly what they did in the comics and say that Clark goes into a sleeping coma, or a healing coma.
And the sun wakes him up eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that... I could see that happening, to be honest.
And it's going to happen in the course of, 5 minutes.
Right.
Doomsday's going to put the whammy on him. It's going to kill 100 million people, because that's how these movies work now.
Right.
But somehow the humans, the human heroes, or less durable heroes, will be safe somehow. And then they'll be like, oh no, what are we going to do? Everybody with powers less important than Superman, go at him all at once. And then it's just going to be like, wham, knocks the bat play down. Wham, crushes Wonder Woman, but she'll be okay. Punches, kind of just flicks Aquaman. And then, oh no, we're going to lose. He's going to kill even more people than he already has, which is going to be a lot. Quote me on that. And then the dust will clear, or the sun will rise, and then he will literally float up, arms out like Jesus, just like he did in the first movie.
I was when you explained the idea of Superman dying and coming back and resurrecting, my first thought was they kill him at the end of this movie, like, he sacrifices himself somehow, like he does in the actual comic book, with I'm Doomsday and you're Superman, and we punch each other, and we're like, ooh. Yeah, and then we die.
It wasn't a sacrifice, they were just fighting.
Right, but yeah. It looks like a martyr move. What? It does. No one else is going to take him on.
Gandhi was a martyr. He didn't punch anybody.
There's other ways to be a martyr. There's more than one. Gandhi doesn't have the monopoly on martyrdom. Was he actually a martyr? Did he actually die?
Yeah, he was
for his stuff. He was shot, wasn't he? Okay.
Well, to be a martyr, you don't have to die for it. It's just your death needs to.
It's symbolic.
It needs to be so impactful that it reinvigorates the base.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what a martyr is.
Okay. Because I know he did the starvation thing. I didn't know he actually got killed for. Anyway, the whole point was I thought he was going to die. Superman, when you said it, I was thinking like they could kill him. What they'll probably do is kill him. These movies are meant to be a little bit dark, so kill him, let him be dead, and then bring him back in the Justice League movie.
Never gonna happen. Never. They're gonna Wrath of Khan this.
Yeah. And
I don't mean original Wrath of Khan. I mean new Wrath of Khan. Into Darkness Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Instead of because what's gonna happen is they're gonna show a test audience, and they're
like, oh, Superman died. Oh, I'm bummed.
Yeah.
You can't put that in the script.
Worst ever. Why'd Superman have to die? Why did I have to feel an emotion other than a happy ending? And 3 people will say it. And then all of these good filmmakers, which we know they are going to lose their minds and be like, oh no, the money.
Where'd the money go? You're right. You're right.
And that's just what's going to happen. But to be fair, I mean, Wrath of Khan, anybody, feel free to, tell me if I'm wrong about this. Wrath of Khan came out at a time that Star Trek wasn't selling toys. Mm-hmm. Superman's selling toys. And a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
and capes.
Yeah. So it's hard to say. But I do think he's going to die. I do not think it will stretch into the second movie. If it does stretch into the second movie, if he is dead when credits roll here, and they don't do anything after the credits...
Are you worried that they will?
Huh? That would be like the most dangerous move in Hollywood. They would be the bad boys for keeping Superman dead through the credits.
Oh. Yes, they would.
Yeah, they would be hot poop.
Another alternative, just since we're.
But what I was saying was,
go ahead.
If they do that, it'd be the best move they've made so far.
Yes. Now, since we're fanning it up, and what I mean, not necessarily fanning.
What, bringing out your comic books and whatnot?
No, I think we're going to go through these different theories that could happen. One that I thought up also is that since we haven't seen Aquaman, maybe Aquaman only comes in at the end. Somehow they knock Doomsday into the water, and we haven't seen Aquaman yet. And then all of a sudden he gets he comes back all someone throws him back out of the water, and he's all beaten up.
That would be awesome. That would be the introduction. That would be the introduction to Aquaman, I think. Is you don't even talk about him, and all of a sudden they're fighting Doomsday. It couldn't be Doomsday, because then the whole rest of the time you're wondering, why doesn't Aquaman just take care of this? Or if he had such an advantage, why didn't he stay in the water?
Oh, good. Yeah, good call. Yeah.
But that is good.
Yeah, I like that.
There needs to be something else. Something else for them to fight.
Yeah.
That's...
Like Lex Luthor in a mech suit.
That's not going to happen this time.
No, I don't think so either. I think that would have been the alternative to Doomsday. It's one or the other. They can't do both.
I actually thought about that quite a bit, whether or not he would jump into the fray. And the problem with any mech suit that you put him into
the hair.
Now, it's not the hair. Because the hair, as soon as...
I'm kidding.
Well, yeah. It's Masters of the Universe kind of He-Man. But no, the problem is visually, and this is an important thing that people think about when they're making movies, is he looks too much like Iron Man.
Oh, in a mech suit.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
He looks just too much like Iron Man, even though his head's exposed. It's very similar ideas. He's always had jet punches, and he flies around with rockets and stuff like that. I thought of maybe a platform that he stood on that had a force field or something like that.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of like a mobile war room for him and stuff. I don't know. That was just one idea I had, but that's kind of similar to Dr. Robotnik. But I'm not against it.
Okay. So I think we spent enough time on Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
End of the day, did this trailer change your opinion about the movie?
Yes.
It reinforced mine. The 20-second teaser taking off his mask, I was like, oh my god, great movie. I was feeling that way for like a week.
Yeah. And then they brought out the real trailer, and you're like, god damn it. Now, one rumor I have heard, though, you may not like this, is that one scene that you did like was a dream.
The thing is that if it was the Spectre showing a possible future, that's awesome.
Okay.
Highly doubtful.
Right.
Almost impossible.
Yeah, there's been no talk of Spectre that I know of.
Either way. You want to talk about something pretty interesting. Loading screens.
Yep.
Those made news.
They did. In 2015, they made news.
Yeah.
Now, the reason this made news is that Namco, back in, I believe it was 1995, there was a patent filed where they said, we are filing a patent for mini games during load screens of video games.
The concept.
The concept.
We, as Namco, own anyone having mini games during their loading screen in a video game.
Yeah, and there was some stipulations, like it had to be nothing like the actual game in form, I guess, in mechanic wise. An example that was that surfaced, I believe we covered. Was it 2009 that we said?
Yeah, it was like Super Sword Bikini Babes.
Some samurai.
It had a long Japanese name.
It was very much like those. What's the name of that series? The one that Zelda just dove into.
Bubblegum Chainsaw. Or Lollipop Chainsaw. Yeah. Now, actually, the game that you're talking about is much more similar.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors. It was very similar to that. But anyway, they had during their load scenes, they had this side scrolling like little. You had your character would run across and cut things, and there's like little guys. And it was a little cool, little funny mini game to make sure you're not bored during the long load screens. The whole thing about this is the patent was filed in 1995, right? And the thing is, even Namco realizes that their patent is not very likely to stand up in court because of how you can't really do that. Right?
Also, no one was paying attention.
Nobody was.
In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, when you're waiting in the lobby for a match, there's a game, and it's in engine. You are your character, and you have a Mr. Sandbag, and you just practice on him.
But that may be outside of the patent anyway, because it's not a load. It's not necessarily a load screen. It's a waiting room. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
The thing is that with legalese, as they call that, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the reason this is even an issue today, and the reason we're talking about it, is the patent has finally run out.
Oh my god!
20 years since they filed. It was November 27th.
20 years not being able to play video games in my video game.
Yes. While you're waiting for your video games.
Probably shouldn't lampoon 20 years a slave.
Nope.
Right now,
nope.
Feels a little fresh.
I will warn you against that. Do not do that one. But yeah, so now you can do it. Now the thing is, okay, nobody.
Did you just have a stroke? What happened? Nobody.
So the whole thing is, you can now make games with mini games in the load screens, right? But you could not have been making that game before November 27th. You had to only start making the game after November 27th.
So, it being the modern world,
yeah,
they're going to take all of those modules out of the source code, and then they're just going to patch it later.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see that pretty soon. That'd be good indie game idea.
Loading screen the game?
Yeah.
It all takes place
in a
while
load screen.
Something larger is loading.
Yes.
Like, it should be like literally Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Literally Duck Hunt. And all the while it was loading the end screen. Like, if you beat the game, it's like a huge 3D 100 billion polygon fair.
Yes. I love this idea. We should get on this. Or not.
However, this does bring me to something that we did want to talk about earlier, and I know it's a little unorthodox to talk about it right now, but I want to do it anyway.
Do it.
Top 3!
What was this? What was
That was your Batman impression. Whoa! Doomsday!
Doomsday! Whoa!
I can chop a man in half.
Dude.
Either way, our top 3 today are the top 3 games we would like to see in our loading screens.
Yes.
Johnny.
I've got them.
I'm going to start us off.
Do it.
You always start us off.
Do it.
I always treat you like a guest on the show.
I'm not.
Okay. So, I'm going to go with bottom.
Do it.
Bottom 3. Number 3. The game that I want to see the least during my loadings, my most favorite of the games that I would like to see the least on my loading screen is anything to do with stickers. I don't like stickers in video games, and they show up all the time.
Like what?
They show up in they show up in Brawl. They show up in the new Paper Mario RPG stuff.
I knew it. It's gonna be all Nintendo crap.
And
they love the stickers.
And really anything that has to do with like collecting little figurines or anything like that. And I feel like they would take this as an opportunity to be like, oh, you collected this in the game, or you got this achievement, so you got this little buddy. And so now they're all on a digital shelf for you to arrange during your loading screen. I could not care less. I really don't want it.
I don't either.
I'm glad you don't.
High five.
Would I play a game about that? Yes. But not during the loading screens where I draw the line.
That's fair.
Number 2, Metal Gear Solid VR missions. This seems, if somebody were to get on, like, talk to Kojima and be like, hey, finally you can do something with your loading screens, which are never that bad, by the way. They'd be like, oh man, I can do VR missions. I feel like that's exactly where the development would go. Are you familiar with the VR mission stuff?
No.
Okay, so VR missions were something that were brought in. My earliest contact with them was Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation. And basically they were mock-ups of missions and common scenarios. Like, not full missions themselves, but you would start in one place, you would have guards doing a thing, and you need to get there and fulfill all of the requirements. Sometimes it's no kill, almost always it's timed, sometimes it's no alarms, etc. And I know that VR missions is a logical thing to do with a loading screen, but it's going to bog it down, and it's going to break up play in a weird way.
Just
for me.
a big no thank you.
Yes. Very big no thank you.
Because you're a fine gentleman, Kojima.
This is going very uncontested. I'm wondering what you're waiting to.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I was thinking about Kojima though, and I was surprised we didn't bring it up. But we should have brought it up during the episode at some point. But the Game Awards. Did you hear what happened at the Game Awards?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
My big question as soon as I heard this, and by the way, what happened was that Konami disinvited or banned him from.
A lawyer told him he could not show up.
Is Konami in charge of that?
They do have. He has a work contract that ends at the end of December. It's basically like a no compete type of thing. He cannot do anything unless it's Konami related. I guess they're still in charge of his work life.
Yeah, and that makes it. I've heard weirder things happen out of video games. There was actually it was an American actor who was a spokesperson for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
God, there's a YouTube video out there somewhere. I feel like it may have been Danger Dolan. I'm not sure, but there was an American actor, and he was so iconic as the PlayStation guy. In fact, if you saw him, you'd recognize him. That they actually sued him so that he wouldn't be in other commercials presenting things to the camera because it was too similar to what they were doing with their product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yep.
No, I understand why it's possible. I also understand that it's stupid.
It's horrible, and then they shouldn't have done it to him. And then they did it again the same month. They did it to. There's an award show, a PlayStation award show or Sony award show in Japan. They didn't let him show up to that. A Sony or a Konami PR rep accepted the award.
It makes a lot of sense as far like if I was Konami and I was capable of doing it, I would. You know why? Because they're getting rid of Kojima Studios.
Right.
All those people are going to be out of a job. So you know where they're going to go to? One of the biggest names in video games, making their all new independent, no Konami in the way crazy fest, which is exactly what they're going to do, and it's going to do okay.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be really weird. I'll buy it.
Okay. Next.
Number one, the thing I want to see the least. I was actually thinking about this for my top, but it was such a stupid idea that I was like, this has got to be my number one. Spider-Man stuck to stuff.
And how would this work?
In a Spider-Man game, during your loading screen, while you're waiting there to do something, you would have your Spider-Man avatar loaded in not much, this is a loading screen. It's supposed to be quick. And he is once again in some kind of jam where he has grabbed onto something and his spider stickiness has become so sticky that he can't let go. And so you gotta mash the A button to get him to let go. And if you don't do it in time, then you break Aunt May's pottery barn or whatever.
Which could suck, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Aunt May's a nice lady.
Yeah. She owns a lot of pottery barns, and that's the only way that they make their living, because being a freelance photographer doesn't pay the spider bills.
Yeah.
Johnny, bottom three.
Bottom three! Anything that's related to what I wrote down was chase the laser pointer dot. And I don't want like your cat. Like you got a laser pointer and your cat's trying to jump on the laser pointer.
Would there be a digital cat?
No.
And you're in control of the laser?
It could be anything that is related to that. If you do put an actual cat in there, it is kind of cute. But I don't want there to be like a dot chasing around the screen and I'm trying to chase it while I'm not a cat. I'm a man.
So you want to be in charge of the laser?
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, if there was cats around, I'm like, hey, come get me, cats. That would be fun.
And you remember that game, Black and White, where they had the symbols that you drew with the mouse in order to do like different things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like that, where if you like do the right things with the laser, it like pulls off combos. And like the cat will like skitter in like a really funny way or something like that.
Yeah, have a seizure.
That would totally work.
Mm-hmm. Number 2 is Pong. I do not want a loading screen where I play Pong with anything or anybody.
You don't like Pong?
That's a nostalgia glasses thing. That game is not good.
Pong's fine.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's fucking awful.
No, it totally holds up.
No, it does not.
Its simplicity is why it's so perfect.
Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Okay. But that's one of those things where, like, you really like football, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I do.
Would Pong be better if, like, you could advance, but if you were past a certain point, then the ball would pass through you, but you could call a timeout to reset your field position? And would that be more enticing?
No.
Okay.
No, but I do like the idea is that if you do score, then the screen advances, and then you take on a stronger opponent. That's a more complicated Pong. It's a little more interesting.
Well, the complicated part of Pong is that there is no AI. You need two people, so you're always playing against a human.
Not always. Now, the original Pong, yes.
Yes.
But there are computerized AI Pong machines that will one day take over the world.
I played one of the original ones at the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, like the actual machine that was just Pong?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never played one of those.
It had a few games.
Yeah.
But most of them, not all of them, most of them were Pong. But because, for the youngins, again, CRT TVs, they would actually produce a large amount of static electricity, and they had these pieces of plastic that you stuck by a static cling, and like it would make it vaguely look like a hockey rink.
Nice.
And so, now it's not Pong, it's hockey. You know.
Oh, we were so easy to please back then. Okay, number 1, any game called Poop on a Stick.
Any game called Poop on a Stick.
Yeah, that would ruin it. Even if it's a good game, that would ruin it for me.
Even Bethesda's Poop on a Stick, the Elder Rolls 3.
I would not play that game.
Really? Mm-hmm. It would be a return to basics Morrowind style RPG.
Playing on my emotions.
The only real difference is that the splash screen, it would never be mentioned anywhere else in the game. The splash screen would say Poop on a Stick.
It would turn me off.
The Elder Rolls 3. I'm really proud of that.
Not a fan.
Okay.
Especially if the game is actually accurate and there actually is poop in a stick.
No. This is the Elder Rolls 3. It's
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying all games.
Bosmers, Dunmers, Ormers, Altmers.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Boromers.
Boromirs. That's the worst class.
He dies every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, top 3.
Number 3. The thing I want to see the most. Like, this would be the best thing.
The best?
The best.
Your number 1's not your best?
Oh, it's even better than the best.
Then why is it number 3?
No. My number 1 is better than the best. This is already the best.
Oh.
We're going to go to best to bestester to the bestest.
I gotcha.
Either way, Pac-Man.
What?
In a Batman game, during a loading screen, I would like to be treated to a Pac-Man style layout. However, the ghosts are just thugs that I see from a top-down view that kind of meander around. They don't know I'm there because I'm the Batman. And I just come up behind them, just gank them. Just rear naked choke. If I pick up a power pellet, then I've got batarangs and just Bat Pac-Man. Pretty much what I said.
I like that.
Yeah, I guess they could like crawl to the center of the screen, and instead of being the ghost house, it would be like the med bay.
Yeah.
And so after that point, they're like more alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's time.
Yeah, and
it's a load screen.
Instead of fruit, there would be Robin.
Nice.
Not a joke about sexuality. Moving on.
Next.
Fallout Shelter.
What?
While I'm waiting for Fallout to load, it should load up Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
So I can play Fallout in my Fallout while I Fallout.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I really like that one.
And I've never played the game.
Now here's the other thing: is you could actually play it. They can already do this.
Sure.
Well,
they can patch it.
Well, not only that, but if you play Fallout, you have the second screen available
on your iPhone,
which is the Pip-Boy. iPhone, Android, it's on both.
Bissonnet.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
But you can actually, or if you're fucking lucky and you got the actual fucking Pip-Boy, fucking assholes. Sorry.
Vault dwellers? You know, you're part of the problem. That's why they have a stigma. That's why most vault dwellers don't share that information about themselves.
Right. Anyway, the Pip-Boys. Because it's a mobile game already, and you can actually, that's what it should do. It should automatically, during a loading screen, your phone should automatically go to the game, and you can just play it, and then it'll alert you when your game's ready.
Right. But you could just do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you could just be playing it and just look.
You could.
Because the music changes.
You could.
Or usually when you load up, your companion will say something because it gets a proximity alert.
Sure.
I want it in the game.
I know.
It would be a sort of a beefed up version that doesn't crash.
Now, Captain J has got a lot of crashing issues. I've never had that game crash on me.
How many times have you played it?
A lot more than her.
I doubt that.
I maxed out the number of dwellers I can have.
That doesn't mean you played it more than her.
I've talked to her about this, and at least in the first 2 months of that game being released, I played a lot more than her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that maybe Captain J wasn't giving the game her full attention the way you might.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, she was having trouble with it, and that's why she was playing it less, because her game was crashing a lot.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fair enough. And number 1, the best of the best. Oh my god. Test your might again.
What?
While waiting for Mortal Kombat X to load, you should be treated to one of many different retro versions of the Test Your Might minigame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Test your might.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be the, I don't know, and I think that's like pure nostalgia for me, because like they'd be using the photos with this like basically stop motion photo animation or whatever they called it.
Whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, and just real ass test your might.
I like it.
Yeah, that would be the best. Johnny, give me a top.
I got your top. I got your top right here.
Did you go to Newsies on me?
I kind of did.
Okay.
Okay, now this is, I wanted to put this in honorable mention because I told you while I was making my list, I was trying to make a bad one, And I was like, fuck, that's a good one.
Yes, I'm very curious.
And I called it Extreme Frisbee Bro Time Extravaganza.
Yeah, that sounds like an amazing game.
It does. It really does. I was trying to
Especially-
make it sound bad, and it actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Especially since here on the Warpod we have changed the narrative on bro gaming.
Right.
So, yeah.
Taking it back.
Taking it back.
I really look like a bro gamer.
You really...
Especially this stupid hat.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just a style of person.
I'm going to own it. Okay, so number 3. Lock-picking practice in Bethesda games. So in this particular one, you would actually be lock-picking.
You didn't explain Bro Time Frisbee Extravaganza, the return.
You're right, I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty self-explanatory.
Did you?
I did. Essentially, okay, I didn't have the entire concept like mapped out. Like this isn't something that I've got like a full concept I'm ready to pitch. But what I was thinking was it was more of an aesthetic, right? So you're playing some type of really simple version of like frisbee golf.
Okay.
I think extreme or what is it called? What did I call it? Extreme
Ultimate.
Frisbee, Ultimate Frisbee. Mm-hmm. That's something different, right?
It's like a version of football.
Yeah, I haven't played either one, but I know frisbee golf actually has a thing. But it's gonna be either one, and it's a real simple game where you're trying to throw a frisbee to your bro, and there's a lot of colors on the screen, and then if you do something successfully, you get a guy that comes up like almost like you know the old whoopsie from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
It'd be like that, but he'd be like, bro! You know, like a big thumbs up.
Okay. For some reason, all I can think of is California games for the NES.
Yeah.
And, like, it would be a different perspective because that was side, but, like, you would be, like, see your 8-bit hand, and once you threw it, you would also control the bro to catch it.
Yeah.
And, like, it would all be, like, extremely crappy, and it would have the same music, like,
that would work, too. Like,
Yeah.
it's all the same type of thing that I was thinking.
And, like, as soon as anything happens, you get the worst bit-pressed audio file ever.
Yeah.
Just, bro, my disc. Come on, bro. Bro, you did it.
Or just say, yeah! You know? Yeah!
Snap into the space!
Yeah! Stuff into the frisbee. Okay. Anyway, number 3. The lock-picking one. The lock-pick practice in Bethesda games. So I want to... mini-game... Well, no, firstly, Oblivion, I hated the lock-picking system. Fucking hated it.
Oh, that was you had a cross-section of a lock,
The
right?
tumblers, yeah.
Yeah, and you had to push them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most realistic one, but it was a lot less realistic in that your picks snap constantly.
Right.
You know.
But so anyway, even with that one, even though I didn't like it, I would like the additional time to practice. So the load screens would actually give me a chance to do that. And this could go with the other ones as well. I really like the new lock picking system a lot better. But anyway, so the idea is you'd be able to practice during load screens. And if you actually are able to do it, I was thinking that you'd be able to unlock like a bonus in-game if you successfully do so many locks during the load screen. So it's like you get rewarded somehow. Like maybe you get more lock picks, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about something with Metal Gear Solid that would get you something. If you do well in the minigame, you'd get something out of it.
Right.
I couldn't put it into the words.
I think
I couldn't put it into the
word games.
The letter words, I believe.
Yeah,
words are made of letters.
Letters, yes. Lines, ink. Or another thing you could do is like a random like lock you come across automatically unlocks when you go in to do the actual minigame in game.
Like if you manage to do it without breaking a pick, and like it's an expert lock.
Yeah, during the load screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get rewarded by the next one you come across automatically opens.
If they're gonna do that, like that should be a mode that you turn on.
Sure.
But as a result, there should be like some Scott Bakula quantum leaping going on, where you warp into an alternate reality where you already picked the lock.
Yeah. So that's number 3. Number 2 is a dartboard game with the face of the antagonist.
Frisbee Golf Medley, the Broening was
an honorable mention. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Honorable
Which is why I wasn't going too detailed about it.
Okay.
But dartboard game with the face of the antagonist on the dartboard. And you can apply that to almost anything.
What if it's a secret?
Then it's the antagonist that you think it is.
How will they know?
How will who know?
How will the game know who you think it is?
I don't know. Maybe each load screen is a different person. And it's like, it could be any of them.
Oh, no. You could actually use that to foreshadow.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable.
I'm glad. Number 1. It's actually a sports game. So you can apply this to almost any sports game.
Okay.
You want to prepare the audience for that?
So... In 1997, there was an invention called sports. And sports are outdoor activities that usually involve kicking balls. I think they're ready.
Excellent. So this would be any sports game where you do a boxing mini game, usually probably like a 2D boxing game, and then you just do it with the mascots of the teams that are playing.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be fun. The last two that you mentioned all work best as motion games.
It's true.
Yeah, which I don't remember your stance on motion games.
Wait, number 2? Oh, the dartboard. Yes,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. Yeah. I like them to an extent. I really was. I have a bad taste in my mouth from the whole motion thing, especially with the.
I was gonna say your sinful alcohol, but
no, that tastes delicious.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of fun with with the Wii.
You had fun with your Wii?
I had fun with my Wii.
2002, you are welcome for me bringing that back.
Boom. But I also had fun with the Xbox.
You had fun with your box? 2005, you're welcome as well.
No, I fucking can't remember the fucking name of it. What the fuck is the name of the motion controller thing in the
On
Xbox?
the Xbox?
Yeah.
The
Kinect.
I was gonna say the controller because they all have accelerometers, but no, the Kinect.
Yeah, I fucking have a Kinect. I never use it because I'm my 360, but yeah. I can't believe I can't figure it. How are you doing?
I'm well, Johnny. How are you?
I'm great. No, I'm sorry. No, I really enjoyed the emotion games. Like I played a lot of the one that came with the Kinect. There's like because we had the Wii Sports and then Kinect had its own version where you had a bunch of mini games or whatever. There actually was a dart one where you were throwing darts, and there's a baseball one like they all have.
I imagine it was far superior to the Wii because, like, everybody like talks about the Wii. Oh, it did so much great. It was the console that got motion capture to work. Mm-hmm. The Kinect was better. It was just late to the dance, and everybody was tired of it by then.
But and it also required a bigger room to play in, which a lot of people got pissed off about, and they returned them.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I had a big living room at the time. I couldn't do it in the living room I have now. Mm-hmm. But the cameras got better, so they don't require so much space.
Could you set up like whenever you see a green screen on TV, or sometimes you'll see a commercial where somebody appears to be standing in a white abyss? It doesn't look like a room because you can't see the corners.
Right.
What they're standing on is a roll. Like it's actually sloping upward.
Right.
Could you put a picture of a larger living room in front of a Kinect and fool it?
Probably.
Huh.
I kind of want to try that now.
Yeah.
But anyway, you asked me my stance on it. I do like motion control games to an extent. We had a lot of fun. We actually played the Wii Sports Resort. I remember at our first Extra Life.
That's not Kinect.
I know it's not. I said Wii.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going on your big Kinect kick.
No.
Okay.
No, but
Wii Sports Resort was really good, but they had to add new technology to it to make
Wii
it
Motion
work.
Plus.
Yes.
And I much like the improved version. Me, Marlon,
very much more like
me. Yeah. Me, very much more me. Like, Marlon, mutual friend Marlon and Jonesy and myself. We played just the golf version, like on the Wii Sports Resort. Fucking loved it. We played it for hours.
Cannot stand it.
It's the best.
It's the worst.
How is it the worst?
Swinging too hard does not make you turn around, which is like they act like you hit the ball from a different angle.
It's just very precise. It's super precise. That's all there is to it. You just got and the angle, like you can spin. If you spin the controller, that would screw you up too.
Right. The precision of swinging in real golf is trying to drive it really hard in the beginning, so you get as close to the cup as you can.
Right.
And then after that, it's making sure you don't overshoot.
True.
That should be the difficulty to the game, not you literally put English on the ball because you hit it too hard.
I don't know.
And to a dramatic effect. Like
I don't know what to tell you. I loved it.
Okay.
I fucking loved it. And in a lot of ways, it was harder than real golf.
We weren't doing a lot of video capture back then, but my favorite part of that particular Extra Life event was archery. Because you were doing extremely well. And then I think you were like joking around or something was going on. But
I accidentally released
I got this. Just straight into the ground. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was. That was that was a hard loss. That was a hard loss. I took it like a man though. I didn't bitch about it. You won fair and square. I think you won, and then Marlon was second, I think.
Yeah, we're actually going to be doing a show with him, a live performance of the Warpod. I mean, obviously not everybody can come. It's a smaller venue, but we're going to be periscoping. Is that what you said?
We're going to periscope some of it, yeah. And it'll be our first periscope, so maybe somebody will watch, maybe not.
And, of course, if you live in the Houston area, always remember to check out links below, because that's how you can come.
Yeah, there's a Facebook event that will be linked below, and it'll be from our good friends Broken Satellite and...
Tim Pixel Saw, a.k.a. Jemma Bujek.
Is he going to be there? I don't know if he's going to be there.
I didn't know. I just assumed.
No, I don't think so, actually. I was going to say Jacob Kaye, which I don't know if I've mentioned his name before, but he's done a lot of different things in the Houston scene. He's actually trying to raise... This is one of the events he's doing to raise money for his trip to Africa.
Okay.
He's trying to raise money for... He's going to make a movie. It's about rhinos and I think another species over there that's becoming extinct.
All of them?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I knew it had a name. It was all of them.
Right. So yeah, it's for a good cause. Minimum $8 cover, and you can give up as much as you want, and all of it goes towards that particular purpose.
So, now I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Cheers. Have a nice day.
This has been another great presentation by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at 4eyedradio.com.